Hello and welcome to the top of the world. Welcome to part two of building the shelves above the, like these, that part. So these are all laid out on the floor gluing. These are the shelf parts. The uprights we've already machined and done, and I'm working on them now. So they are all the shelves on the floor gluing just for this section. I've still got anyway, we'll get there because we're desperately short of timber without running up the sawmill, as I think I explained in the last video. Anyway, so what we've got is we've got these. Now these are glued together, laminated, and what I've just done is run the first edge there over the overhand, and then I've run it to width in the bandsaw, and then I've run the final edge back over the overhand, and I've already planed them all to the same thickness. So this means that we're the same thickness and we're the same width, and now I'm just setting up the saw to cut them all to the same length. So this is what I've just done. Nicely laminated, seamless, planed, just needs sanding. So that's the first one cut. Now, I'm not normally into recommending anything unless it's any good, because there's a lot of stuff that's no good. And I took a risk. About a year ago, in preparation for all this work, I bought some laminating glue. Maybe it was a year ago, maybe it was back in the summer. Now, I'm from a generation and expertise that laminating glue is 2-pack. Has a chemical reaction. And you mix it together and you roll it on and you put everything in a press, and it is then the strongest part of the wood. The laminate will never break. The wood breaks around it. And I've used a lot of single part white glues for all manner of stuff. And some of it's okay and some of it's just rubbish. Where is that pot? There. So, I purchased this. Now, to a lot of you, this will make no sense. But to all my Swedish subscribers and viewers, and Finnish ones and Norwegian ones, it will. So, this is a single part white laminating glue. And I've glued everything with it. And it looks and feels just like any other single part white glue. But it is not. Not even close. Where's my tripod? So with a good glue, when you're using it, should be the strongest part. So then the weakest part after that is the wood itself. That's what we need for what we're doing for these cabinets. So I want to show you what I saw, which is what reminded me to turn the camera on. Okay, so that's our first board. Let's take our next board. See how close we are. Take a slither off the end. I'm hoping I'm going to get the same result as I did when I tested the first piece off camera. Be quiet. So here's my first end. You can quite clearly see laminated there, glued. Did not break on the glue joint. Just didn't. Broke on the grain. Here's our second, much bigger piece. You can see there where I've planed it. That's the join. That's the join there. You can see how one bit of wood goes one way and the other bit of wood goes the other way. That's trying to get some kind of uniform rather than trying to get a cupping. Okay. Well, Really, 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 really impressive. You can actually see where it's come off and followed the grain. And there's no glue there. That has just snapped along the weakest part of the grain in the middle. And the glue is fully intact and the join is fully intact. So, that has to be the single best, single part white laminating glue I've ever used. I'm calling it laminating glue because I'm laminating here. Right, sticking glue, joining glue, it's glue and it works. It is slightly more expensive than the other glues, but I was expecting that because I'm using it for a very specific job. If I was laminating beams up, seeing that, I'd have no qualms in using that, none. Absolutely none. I would have to get a data sheet on the structural integrity of it, right, just to make sure. But for the performance I've seen from this, wouldn't concern me. A lot of white glues you wouldn't use. Right. Okay, so I'll continue to cut all these sides up, and that'll give us all our uprights for our cabinets. That's our sides. Now what we've got to do is turn our attention to here. Can't do anything with that over there, there's gluing. There's no point in me backing myself up with more wood. But what we need is a piece of steel to weld on the back of there. I've been bolting my rear facing camera onto my hitch pin. Several problems with that. Firstly, it moves side to side, and secondly, as of yet, I haven't reversed into anything solid, including a snowbank. But when I do, that's my GoPro, my bracket, all of it gone, embedded, finished. What I need is a steel pole. Not unlike this one, which happens to be golly, it's colour matched. So these were the poles off my wood trailer, but you know, they're a bit, I need that welded on there like that, right? And then I can do two things with that. I can bolt my rear facing camera on here, and I can somehow affix my 360 camera on the pole at the top. So I've got to look at my, I've got to look at what I've got to do to, I don't suppose that's the right kind of bend, is it? It's bloody close. That bend in there. Anyway, that's what I need. I need that welded on there like that. And then I can mount cameras on it. See? How is it faring after its service? It's very dry, the engine, but you can see the vast amount of muck in the drop filter already. So since we did all that work, what have I got on her? 6, maybe 10, 12 hours, maybe 10 or 12 hours. Look at that. Now that orange stuff, I've got to tell you, that's coming from within the jerry cans. That's a lot of muck in. I don't know what that green, I don't know what that slimy thing is. But that orange paint, that's the same colour as the jerry cans. I wondered how much rubbish I was getting from the jerry cans. I don't know if you can see. You see that bit of wetness in there? Right, that's where I soldered the diesel tank up before. And you can see where, you see that yellow bit in there? That's actually where the diesel's washing it out. So that has let go again. It's very rusty, it's very thin, looks all right on the outside, but it's very thin, that diesel tank. Anyway, all of this is good. There's no problems with the diesel system now, except I'm seeing that. So we already know the filters are beginning to clog up again. And that's coming from the jerry cans. Well, why is that coming from my jerry cans, Simon? Well, because all my jerry cans come out the metal bin, obviously, because there's no money. And when they go in the metal bin, they're already old, damaged and dented, and some of them even leak. So anyway, it's been going on for years, and obviously they've got to an age where at least one of them, the paint's starting to come off the inside. Why you'd paint the inside of a jerry can, I don't know. So my jerry cans are letting go, and the diesel tank's letting go. Now I've got a couple of plastic barrels, so I think what we do is we're aimed to change the diesel tank in the summer to a plastic one, and at the same time replace all the old metal jerry cans with plastic barrels, and we should stop all this. Right, welding, sawdust, oil and diesel. All right. We're gonna have a party then. Much like yesterday, really cold day. The snow is steady. And it's going to be steady for the next 24, 36 hours. We've checked on depth this morning. It's just steady. Okay, so quite pleased, I've got to say, with the shelves for the first set of units. So I've taken out the clamps this morning and brought them in here. And we've got, it's a different mix. Aspen, Birch. There's 2 bits of pine there. Spruce, there's some spruce in there. Aspen, Birch. Yeah, they're kind of mixed. So what we're going to do is there we've got all the uprights to the cupboards, and this is all the shelves for the first section. I've got these and some long bits to make up the ones for the second section. Just to remind you, first and second section. So what we're working on is the 3 cupboards that go along this wall, and then we've got to do them there. So what I've decided to do, because we're getting very near to that, I say near, I'm late. The snowmobile has to come out. I have to go and start my forestry work. Not really feeling it this year for some reason. Anyway, I welded my pole on yesterday. There we go. Bit of primer on the bottom. So my rear-facing camera now sits in there, which is a lot safer than down there. So it should be out of harm's way, and then the big 360 camera is going to go on top of a pole, on top of that. It goes right up in the air. So we should be good on that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make these the same width as those, or yeah, we need all of those. We don't have any spare. And then to do that, we do the first edge on there. We then run it through the bandsaw to give it its width, and then we do the second edge on there, and then it gets stacked back over here to go through the thicknesser. So that's what we're going to do next. So we're on that old rinse and repeat now. So they're thicknessed. They're my sides. These are my shelves for me front thing. So they're all the same width and they're all the same depth. Now we've got to cut them to length. And so that's the front one. We've compensated for the uprights. So our two fixed cabinets, we want a cut length of 1063 millimeters. Yeah. 4 of those we need. And then we'll go and put these two end cabinets together. And then apply the back into them. And then apply the back into that. Hang that lot on the wall before we start machining up these, which is the shelves for round the corner, because we've only got so much room. I wonder why, as we pick round the corner. Have we got to go and plough? Yeah, it's stopped at the minute. It's I'm reluctant because it's so cold out there. I don't. Anyway, it's not about how reluctant I am. Oh, it's about the depth. Yeah, I'm going to have to. Yeah, I'm going to have to go and run the roads because there's supposed to be a lot more this afternoon, and then it'll be snowing until tomorrow lunchtime. So I've got this snow creek. I never have this. I always keep the canopy clean and the curtain pulled. The curtain got damaged in the storm and it's been too cold for me to really get up there and fix it. And the tractor's dragging all this in. Anyway, it will only become a problem in melt. So we need to sort it out. But we're going to have to go out and plough the roads this afternoon. Just put the plough on and just run round once. We don't have to do any shoveling up or anything. He don't want to go out because he's got a bad shoulder and it's cold. Right, back to where we were. Let's cut these to length then. Other than those people that comment on things, do you know, I read the comments, I read every single one of them and I reply to every single one of them, as you all know. And sometimes I wonder if they've watched the same video as they're leaving the comment for. Anyway, so I'm kind of reluctant to show all the processes because I don't want to bore you, but if I ever get any criticism, it's the fast forwarding and the speeding through. So, anyway, here we go. What's my measurement? We think 1063. Fucking June! Jesus. Come in. That's what we're doing. 1063. I know what I'm going to use that for because that's quite thin. And I've got to pick my shelves. They've actually came out really nice considering, you know, that's a bit of birch and pine laminated together. Anyway, some of them are a bit shy on the back. You know, where I really scratch to get the wood out of what I got, and I'm going to continue to scratch until I've used it all. Right. And I'm also guilty of, because I'm filming, not turning the extraction on because it's noisy, but it just fills the place with dust if I don't. something to get you moving. What I was going to say was, nothing like a bit of Janis Joplin to make you move yourself. So we don't have to mess around with the whole sanding procedure like we do on the tops. Straight in with a 120, boom, sand, out, done, put it together. It's just a cabinet. Okay. Sorry about that, my bad. I thought, right, there I go thinking again, that it'd be interesting to take you out to get the wood from the woodshed, you know, and all that snow. And anyway, what that done was that killed my battery, subsequently lost the footage, and then when I started this, I didn't have enough time to charge the battery, and I don't have enough time to wait. I had to do this now, and it's done. So that's the carcassing up on this side. Now we can turn the corner. We've got room to machine up all the bits of wood. So this is actually deeper than that. Not by a lot, but I needed it deeper. So those shelves are 8 inch. These should be 10 inch. 10 and 3/4. So they're 8 inch shelves. These are 10 and 3/4. So that's 200 mil, 270 mil. Yeah. It don't actually look a lot, but it is. I did those at that because that's what I thought was right for there, but I need something deeper for here, and that's why I've stuck all these bits together. So, you know, it's looking good. We've got all this out of thin stuff that wasn't really suitable for this, and we're going to do the same with the other side, and we're going to keep using all the timber that we brought in because that uses it up then, and it gives me the right widths. Could I easily have cut this width out of single pieces out? Yeah, but I won't get to it till July, August, right? That's the reality of it, because as soon as we've done this, we've got to go logging. As soon as we've got to do logging, we've got to come back, we start firewood processing, and then, you know, hopefully by that point, in between all that, we've got more snow and more snow and more snow and melt and clean up and more snow. And then I already know what my first job is, which is a continuation of the cabin, you know, that we moved. we've got to form the roof and do all that. So I already know where I am. In addition to that, there might be a bigger wood cutting job yet. Might be. We have to work on this. The opportunity's there. The rest is down to my negotiating skills, if I'm honest. Anyway, so that's the carcassing up. We've obviously got to let all this glue go off now and then sand, and then we can treat. I've got the ends to do, but most importantly we'll be moving around. Sometimes I'm guilty of skipping over the detail because I think you'll find it boring. Anyway, so I'm not going to do that. So on this second unit now, I had to make up all the shelves, and I said I was really struggling to get... This is the second pack, or what's left of the second pack of wood that we've had in here, of dry wood. And we've gone through this and we've added back to it. And this is, I think I told you, this was cut on the original circular sawmill. Right, so where am I going with all this? So we've got our sides left back up here, but I wanted to show you this. So this is pre-machined but laminated and glued together. Different species, different sides. They were different lengths, so I've cut them all to the same length. These are our shelves, our rough start to our shelves. And this is what it looks like before you start working it. And they're not even the same sizes, so we need to plane them down. This is the underside of one I've already done. Right, quite clearly you can see I was really stretching it. However, if you turn it over, you can see where we're going with it. And there's another one. These ones I've already done. Hardly even see the join in that one. So this would be a top shelf, obviously, because you don't want it a top or a bottom. You don't want it in the middle because you don't want to see any of that. But it would be good for one side that you were seeing. It's not structurally impaired in any way. None of these are cut to width or cut to length yet. But I just thought I'd show you what I made that lot out of just this stuff. And I've got these few now left to plane, thickness. But this is what they look like when they start. Quite ugly, but we used a lot of ugly stuff to make them. And again, as I've said before, and probably just as well it wasn't summer really, because I'd have just pulled one of those big cants out and I'd have just sliced it down for shelves. However, does the electricity now warrant this work? Ask me another day. Right, so, yeah. Nothing that we've got left is particularly good or particularly wide. Some of this stuff I've sifted through. I'm going to be stacking that in there because all of that is reasonably good stuff, although some of it is almost siding because it's cut so thin. You know, that's cut at 3/4 of an inch, and you can't really, 1/2 inch shelving's not. You don't want to put anything heavy on 1/2 inch shelving, it's going to flex too much. Anyway, I'll machine up all of these and then we'll go through the widthing process, the planning on the end, finally cut to length. Then we sand it all and then we'll go and put these last round the corner shelving units together. And then we're into drawers. Now there's the thing. I need a lot of drawer material. 24, I need 48 sections. Oh, I do. This is my drawer material here. And I haven't got the width in there. It's 20mm thick, but I haven't got the width in there because I don't really know what we're going to have left. Last thing I want to be doing is gluing 48 sections together. And it won't be 48 sections, will it? It'll be 80, it'll be 90 sections. So then we're... And again, I won't make it out of sheet or disc material. It's got to be made out of wood because it's just rubbish otherwise. Right, let me get on with this then. It's the next morning after assembly. Glue's dry. So, interesting. I've got a cutout in that one to go round that anomaly. So there's the far one. Here's the near one with the cutout. And that is to go round that stubby bit of wall. Now there is an argument that says I could have cut all that off. Yeah, I could have done. Anyway, I've got to remove that and then the upper trim. And I've got to have a look at that. But we're going to put the backs on. So the other interesting thing is I elected to use this. I've explained how old it is and how many times it's been moved around. Worked out what I need for this entire wall. And I have none left. That's it. And I've got the parts where they weren't quite long enough. So I think I've got two bits like this at 2 feet and one bit like that left out of all that wood. So what a great use that's been. Yeah, and I think it looks good. I told you it'd go black, didn't I? Or the black would go blue. Yeah, it'd be just fine. It looks old. It is old. Do you have something to say? Come on in. Express your opinion. What is it that you have to say? Eh? Oh, grumpy. Are we grumpy? Yeah? Okay. Let's get the backs on these. I've done the same as I did before. I used the good screws on the outside to pull them in and the not so good screws to pull up the middles. I've done everything the same all the way through and it's going to look the same. A bit of consistency. Okay, so I know that end is exposed, right, and I know there's a step there. There's supposed to be, because it's got that end cap. This going on the end, as that one, plus the shelf, plus the provisions for the fire extinguishers. So that's all the carcassing done. Now there's a lot of cleaning up and treating, as you know. Got to go on there. Got to trim the end of that, sort out the corners, plug the screws on there, etc, etc, etc. A lot of work still got to go into these. Am I going to do that today? No, because I've got about 5 hours to edit this entire video and get it uploaded. So, there we go. And for those of you that weren't expecting yet another joinery video, this is winter. This is what I'm doing. There are snow ploughing videos coming. There are, but that's on a different system now, and it's taken me a bit longer, as I've explained. Anyway, that's been a test in itself. So we're into drawers after this, and given the fact that there isn't a single wide piece of timber in all that, it's all glued and laminated, what I don't want to be doing is gluing the drawer components. So we've got a lot more machining to do there. They're all cupboards around there, they're all drawers down there. But we're there on the carcassing, and we're there on everything that is difficult. The drawers, they're easy. There's no problem with the drawers, is there, Bea? No? Are you going to say that's all we got for you today? No. Okay. Well, that is all I've got for you today. There we go. I'm going to sand all that up, wax all of that, prepare it all, and then we're going to move into drawers. But I'm also very aware now I have to get the snowmobile out, and we have to start prepping for cutting, because I'm at least a month, 5 weeks later than I was last year, and I've got the 4 hardest months of the year to come, which is the felling, the hauling, the splitting, the stacking, the prepping. And whilst all that is going on, I've also got 1 project to build and 2 projects to prepare for. So, how far we're going to get with completing this, as of yet, I'm not sure. But I need to be out now in the forest and on the chainsaws. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Really appreciate it, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.